Everyone, welcome to ServiceNow guy. I am Gunjan Kiratkar and today we will learn about one new real-time use case which I have built in the UI builder workspace. Basically what exactly is the use case? Suppose if I click on this incident list, then you can see there are two incidents present here, and if I click on this more option and click on the export button, and suppose if I wanted it in the format of the PDF, then I'm exporting it. uh, let's see. Okay, it gets downloaded and you can see that the two incidents get downloaded, but I don't want these two incident. I want the incident which I have selected from the list view. Suppose if I select only this one incident and if I click on this export button, then I want only that one incident to get exported into the PDF format. But as you can see that it is not happening with the out of the box UI action. So in order to make that modification, what we have to create it, basically whatever you can see the present here, these are the list actions which we can build from here. If you click on the all and type here as a list action, then you will get the list actions under the actions and components. So basically if you wanted to create any button on the list level of the workspace which is built on the UI builder, then we will have to create the list actions. Suppose if you wanted to create any button, any UI action for the related list, then you will have to create that under the related list actions. So basically currently we wanted to build that under the main list, so we are clicking on the list actions and you can see that there are many out of the box list actions are already present. This export button is also present here. So now we will click on the new button, and before going into the creation of the list action, we first need to understand how exactly this PDF gets built and how exactly we can build that particular URL. So in order to save that time, I have created one URL here itself, and you can see that the URL consists of the instance name, then the table name from which we wanted that particular records, then we will have to specify in which format we want, and then the query, which all sysids we want here, and then the view. It may be any default view or any particular view from that view you want the particular fields which are available on that list level. So you can specify that view here as well. For the convenience, I'm specifying the default view, and then sysparam view, which is the print, and the if you wanted that PDF in the portrait format or in the landscape format. So in my case I am having lot many fields present on the list level, so I am making in the landscape format so that all the fields will get added into that particular PDF file in a more visible way. So suppose if I copy this URL from here and hit that URL here, then you can see that it will only download that one incident for which we have specified the sysid. So but we need to make it in the dynamic way. So how exactly we can do that? Let's come down to our uh, list action and specify here name as export selected, export selected. If you wanted to make this list action available to all the table throughout the instance, then you can make it as a global. You can keep this global, but I wanted it for the incident table only. So I'm selecting the incident table from here, and then just click on the advanced view. You can see here one more option as implemented as, and if you click on this, you can get the many component here as well: UI component, client action, UXF client action, and the client script. So basically today we are going to write down the client script for it. So I'm selecting the client script. Once I select the client script, you can see that the one tab is appear here for the client script, and we can specify the script within this tab. Okay, so let's start the writing the script. So to write down the script, we will um, go with the try catch block, so that if there are any errors, then it that script will basically catches that error. It is a kind of best practice which you can follow while writing any kind of scripts. Message is equal to ex.message, and we are showing that particular error if we are getting any error in alert message. Okay, so we are done with the catch block. Then we need to write down the try block. So basically, first of all, we wanted all the incident which we have checked from this list view. So basically, in order to get those sys IDs of that incident records, we have one out of the box method which we can use. Let me specify the variable name, and that is g underscore, no, it is not form, it is list, g underscore list dot get check. So this is the out of the box method which you can use to get the sys IDs of all the records which get checked at the list level. After that, where query, so we need to build our own dynamic query, and because of that we are declaring this variable. And as you can see in this URL, that we need to specify like the sys ID in, and we are specifying the one sys ID, and we can specify the another sys ID as well by giving here comma and then specifying the another sys ID in this way. So we have to write down the same syntax here as well, sys underscore id in, and then we need to append this check records. Now this check record will get in the form of the kind of arrays, in form of the comma separated values of the sys IDs. So just write down this variable name here dot to string. Okay, so now we have our we are getting the records which we check, as well as we are getting the query. The next thing is the table. Now we need to write down, you can hard code it as well as you can write down in the dynamic way, so it is always better to give the table value or any kind of value within the script in the more dynamic way instead of hard coding it. Dot table name, this is also an out of the box method which we are using here. Now we need the view, so to get the view we are writing this get view method. You can directly specify here as well default in the single quote, so it will capture, it will get to know that we need to go with the default view. But basically whenever we are dealing with the UI builder workspaces, then we are having our own specified view for that particular workspace, and because of that it is always better to specify in this dynamic way. So whatever view present here, it will get captured and it will get the fields from that view only. So we are done for the view. Now we are building the URL is equal to, let me copy this URL and paste it here. So basically whenever we are hitting the URL from the script, we no need to write down this instance name, instance URL, so we can ignore it, we can delete this part. And from here we also don't need this incident, because it is a we are basically hard coding this kind incident table within the URL, so we don't want that. So we are deleting this incident as well, and we are writing here as a table, because the table stores the incident value but it doesn't store this list. That's why we are appending the table with this list and until here. Okay, so basically This is the static part, this is the dynamic part. Now we need to paste this query here as well, so that it will take this query plus query plus and sysparam view. Now we need to specify here view as well, so plus view this variable name. Okay, and we need to delete this default from here, then plus and this. So this is basically our URL, dynamic URL, which we can use in the any table. So after that we need to hit that particular URL. In order to hit that, we can write down top.location.href is equal to URL. Okay, and then save it. So now we have navigated to the workspace, and if I click on this export selected, I'm not selecting anything, but we are getting here the error as g underscore list dot table name is not a function. Okay, navigate to the, oh, okay, I made a mistake here. Let me remove this and again save it. Then refresh this workspace, and if I click on this export selected, then it is not exporting anything as I didn't select any record. But this should not be happen, because see, this button will not be uh, we can say the selectable like this edit and assign to me, because we are not selecting any of the record from the list level. So how we can make that possible? If you go to the list action, then you can see that here one field has a record selection required. So if you click on this button and if you save it, let me navigate to the workspace again, then the my vendor incident, then you can see that this export selected gets disabled. So so once I select this incident and if I click on the export selected, then this incident gets downloaded, and you can see that one incident get downloaded. Suppose if I want this second as well, and if I click on here, then this incident also gets downloaded. So now you can see that the two incidents are appear within the PDF file. So in this way you can create your own dynamic selection from the list view, and you can export only those records which you have selected from the list level. So please comment down your thoughts on this particular use case, how exactly you can use this use case in your project, and how effective it is. Thank you so much for watching my video.